Hey everyone, GXVL here with a brand new video talking about old movies that I finally get to see as of 2020. And by old movies, I'm specifically going to be talking about Back to the Future parts 1, 2, and 3, the first Terminator movie, and also RoboCop. And yeah, I do mean like the first original ones, and not the sequels that comes after it. Well, you know, with Back to the Future it has sequels, but we'll get there for a moment, alright? And I just gotta say, I can't believe I missed out watching them, especially that, like, if you're like a kid that you're not supposed to watch like a rated R movie, then yeah, of course you missed out on it, right? Because your parents are not gonna let you watch that. No, too much violence, too much blood. Later on, maybe once you're grown up, you're gonna watch it, and I just did. So let's talk about let me see. Oh yeah, let's talk about with Back to the Future first, right? Because it's a three-parter. And I gotta say, I actually really enjoyed watching these movies, of course, when it comes to time travel. And I gotta say, when it comes to time travel, it has been, you know, pretty used much often nowadays when it comes to storytelling. But I gotta say, Back to the Future is basically the one that makes sense, to me at least, because there has been a couple of times when it comes to other movies and TV shows where they make time travel way more complicated than it should be.
Okay, if I kill Hitler, that would be good. Unless, by doing that, I somehow create zombie Hitler. What if it creates an alternate reality with 20 Hitlers? I can't take this anymore. I'm going home to play Xbox.
Right? Just wow. But yeah, I'm kind of glad that Back to the Future just made time traveling sound a little bit simplistic and also a little bit layman's terms-ish in a certain extent, and of course trying to just have some fun with it, trying to attain the audience, right? But I think my only main gripe is that, like, when it comes to part 3, it's just made it a little bit, you know, repetitive when it comes to the whole, like, oh, knocked out, I wake up. And you're like, oh, it's you or that, and I'm like, okay, you already, okay, part 1 and part 2, it kind of makes sense. Part 3, I don't think that was needed. So I definitely think that part 3 was kind of weak, but I actually pretty much enjoyed the whole, you know, like, old Western stuff, so I actually really dig that, I'm not gonna lie. Because, like, of course I live in Texas, because, like, Texas always had some interesting old west stuff that for some reason it has that really nice niche, really nice atmosphere to it. But when it comes to time travel, of course it's gonna have some two different aspects colliding to each other, you know. But let's pinpoint with the first Back to the Future movie just for a little bit, where I say that, like, it is definitely a pretty old movie, of course, and just looking at the characters, specifically the two main characters, right, where I say that they're actually pretty much likable. And when it comes to the antagonist, I really didn't like the antagonist that much. I just think it's the whole typical bully one, which I'm like, it makes sense why it worked back then. I think it's because I just watched way too much other stuff as of late, where I've already grown accustomed to, and which I'm already a little bit tired with. I'm like, I think it does work. I just think I'm just worn out with the whole typical bully who becomes like the big bad, and then you get to see the ancestor, and I'm just like, I'm like, it makes sense, it works. I'm just not too much attached to that villain. I think I'm a little bit more attached with, of course, with our main protagonist, right? And especially with the, like, man, what was the science guy's name again? Yeah, you get the gist, right? But as far as I know it, I just think Back to the Future, the trilogy, is actually pretty damn good. I think I love part 2 way more for some reason, but apparently I think other people like part 2 a little bit more as well, so to speak, if I'm not mistaken. Now let's talk about the first Terminator movie, which I gotta say was very damn investing. I'm like, this is a straight up masterpiece already. And like, what more can you say about Terminator that's already been said and done by people who already reviewed the movie way better than I do? For me, I just gotta say, despite that the movie may not have aged too well when it comes to some certain areas, of course, when it comes to like, you know, like the green screen and some practical effects, like they do, I just think like it does have a good excuse on why it feels this way, and despite being a little bit outdated, but it works. Everything works out really well, and I do think the two characters, the two main protagonists, were good overall, especially with their performances. I just can't believe I missed this out, and I can't believe I've seen Terminator. And that movie was so boring and so confusing, and I thought it was bad. So I'm glad I saw the first one, and I'm like, wow, so this was pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. So then, moving on from that, let's talk about RoboCop, which I gotta say, another straight up masterpiece. And my gosh, I don't know how much how I can say is that, like, I feel RoboCop. I can understand RoboCop, and I just pretty much admire on how it's a, you know, a movie, a work of art. Like, this is what movies are meant to be. And as much as I do love the other type of movies I've seen back as a kid and rewatching them to this day, such as like Dragonheart, the moment when I watched, you know, James Rolfe review, Angry Video Game Nerd, when he talked about that like stop motion animation was used for RoboCop, I was like intrigued. So of course he presented clips, so I'm like, yeah, I gotta definitely check it out. And luckily YouTube, of all places, is showing RoboCop for free, but of course with ads. Apparently RoboCop 2 was only a preview, and RoboCop 3 you could watch to the fullest, so I'm like, man, oh wow. But hey, I was actually finding it very fascinating that a mixture of practical effects and stop motion were blended well together to make it feel a little bit more authentic. Actually works. I actually feel like I'm in that year when watching it. I actually paid attention to the fullest. I was eating some pizza, and then I was still paying attention, not doing anything else. And then at the end of the movie, I was enjoying my hot tea to help me to go to sleep, and boom, like, I made it all the way through. And I think the best part is just seeing RoboCop trying to get back in touch of who he is, and like trying to remember, like, if he really did have a family. Like, I just really think it's like it really speaks to me, speaks to everyone. If I didn't know any better, right? But I just think it's really nice, and but the way how the ending was, maybe I don't need to bother with the sequels. And besides, let's be honest, I don't think those sequels are gonna hold much as the first one, of course, but I still want to give them a shot since I haven't seen them as well. But I know I'm not gonna watch the, you know, the remake, yeah, you know, the forgettable remake that just turn on like, hey, okay, or just, you know, something bad. I don't want to talk about that. But yeah, like, RoboCop was again pretty damn entertaining, and especially that when it comes to the story telling of things, guys, and with the atmosphere, the setting and tone, it was so damn balanced. I'm not kidding. I'm like, oh wow, it's kind of pretty cheesy, but it has that very dark tone of it. Like, it has a little bit of self-awareness. If I didn't know any better, like, the antagonists actually act like, you know, your psychotic bad guys when laughing. And of course, I saw Red Foreman in there. You know, the actor who played as Red Foreman in the That 70 Show. I'm like, he actually nailed his part as well. So yeah, I just was really amazed when watching all these films. While I may not love Back to the Future, I know I will always enjoy them to the fullest. I just think Part 2 is my personal masterpiece, and when it comes to the first Terminator, masterpiece. RoboCop, masterpiece. I'm like, I got to watch Rambo next. I gotta watch the first Rambo, okay? But also, here comes the most crippling part where I also want to watch the original, authentic, non-special edition nonsense that is the Star Wars trilogy. The original trilogy. I grew up with watching the prequel trilogy. Just let you know that, people, and thought Force Awakens and Rogue One were good, but I just want to watch the original trilogy just to give it a shot and without the special edition CGI smear. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. So yeah, what are your guys' honest thoughts? And I'm pretty sure you guys are going to probably say the same thing and not add too much. But seriously, what are your guys' thoughts on each of these movies? And which movies did you miss out that you haven't seen before, but you finally got to see them, or that you finally got around them, or that which movie are you interested in the most that was from a long time ago and that you want to check out? Let me know in the comments below and let's have this discussion, okay? This has been GXVL, signing off right now. Later.